Evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the 5th day of 10 days international conference on social work, sciences, technologies, environment, climate change, disaster management, health, well-being, and sustainable development 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and World Health Organization 75th anniversary, and also 4th National Social Work Week 2023 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing, and international and national multidisciplinary fraternity. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Any presenters who have registered for on-spot registration, those who have completed formalities can share your details, your name, designation, organization, along with your topic in chat box, so that we can invite you for your presentations. You can check website. On the website, we have schedule. So today we'll be looking at in the first session, we'll look at various social reformers, social workers, social activists who have contributed to the social work in various ways. The social work, as already mentioned, in earlier sessions, when we spoke about history of social work in US, UK, and rest of the world, as well as in India, the social work is not a new thing. It has always been done as it is, still it is as an act, in various forms, like we discussed, because it is more relevant in Indian context as dharma. That is one's duty towards the family, towards the community, towards the society, towards the nature, towards the environment, and towards the planet. So everyone has responsibility towards all these on which we are totally dependent. Without taking oxygen or without taking air, can we survive? No, not even for a second. Maybe we can survive for a few seconds, but not beyond that. And without drinking water, can we survive? For how many days? Without eating food, can we survive? For how many days? Again, it varies from individual to individual based on the health conditions and environmental conditions. So we are completely dependent on the nature and environment for our survival. We may think that we are dependent, but not. We are entirely dependent on the nature, and the same nature, environment, and the planet is being abused by us in various forms. So this is the present focus of social work, with this theme, green social work or clean social work or whatever social work we are talking about. It is the immediate crisis of climate change. The climate change is not just limited to a particular nation or couple of nations. It's related to the entire planet. No one is left behind. No one is left behind with the impact of climate change. Everyone is suffering. everyone is affected by this climate change. It is impacting not only just human beings, but also flora and fauna, these various plant species, animal species, living, non-living beings. And it has a huge impact, especially on agriculture. As the environment is changing, as the nature is changing, as climate temperatures are increasing, as the sea levels are rising, and more deforestation and various other human activities which are causing the reduction of green cover on the planet and pollution, especially caused by the plastic. It is estimated that oceans have become a dump yard. Almost half of the oceans are filled with plastic and other waste, which are generated by human activities. Oceans are lungs for the planet. As forests are lungs for the land, oceans are lungs for the planet. So they take in a lot of carbon dioxide, and oceans are habitat for various millions of species in the oceans. But due to this introduction of pollutants, waste, and oceans becoming dumping yards for waste and plastic, the efficiency of oceans are coming down, and the support for various life sources and non-life sources are also getting depleted and affected, due to which the ecosystems, biodiversities, the coral reefs are being affected. And even the aquatic life is getting affected. And due to this pollution and runaways of these chemicals, fertilizers, and even micro fabrics, microplastics, all these which are used by humans, all these synthetic polyester clothing which we use, nylon, polyester, and all types of synthetic clothing which we use. Every time you wash your clothing every day, microfibers are released into the water. When you wash your clothes in washing machines or, through various methods, when you dispose the water, with that water, there are a lot of wastage and microfibers, microplastics that are left out in the sewerage or the drainage. Finally, these end up in oceans, polluting the oceans, and they are consumed by aquatic life like fishes, crabs, and all other aquatic species, which are again consumed by humans through fishing. So again, these microplastics, microfibers, and various other micro pollutants, heavy metals are entering the living organisms, including human beings, animals, and also plants, which are again being consumed, and it is also causing the genetic mutations and cause of various illness, diseases, disorders, not only in just human beings, but also in the entire ecosystem. So when we look at the present role social workers can play, can make a huge impact in the form of creating awareness, advocacy, as a pressure groups in bringing out various policies, programs that could prevent, that could address these issues. Not only that, as we have already discussed in earlier sessions, the social worker role is being very much limited to the paid services or professional services, which is also hindering the recognition of the social work and as well as the popularity of the social work as a profession, as a subject, as a practice. Because we are not able to see, we are not able to penetrate and thrive into the communities at a grassroots level. We see more of other people or other professionals contributing a lot rather than when we compare it to social workers. Then what is the difference of we being studied so much in social work, having so much of academic qualifications in social work, and if we are not able to contribute at least what a common man or a woman is contributing, that itself points out the huge gap on the fraternity. So the first step we all have to take is we have to reach the common man or the common woman at the grassroots level. There is a huge gap between the academia and the practice. The academicians do not practice, and practitioners do not teach. And there is a huge gap between both. And often, when policies are bringing up, even the recent council, various efforts for bringing up council or bringing up draft bills have also highlighted the huge gap between practitioners, the existing practitioners, qualified practitioners, and skilled practitioners, and various categories of practitioners. As there is a huge gap of social work services or social work practice, but social workers often see, even when we also see a lot of passing out students of social work are not interested to work in small NGOs or where, other professionals are coming up and taking their roles. And most of the social workers are looking for white collar jobs. And they want to just sit in AC rooms, restrict themselves to their offices. They don't want to travel extensively. They don't want to work in rural areas, or they don't want to work in agriculture sectors. They are highly influenced by the society and they are neglecting our own profession. Now, this huge gap is filled by other professionals. And at the same time, if we are not able to recognize them or acknowledge them for what we are not doing, and they are coming ahead and doing without even studying social work, and they are contributing. So this is a huge gap between which we have created, which was already existing, but which we have created so much infrastructure, education, curriculum, but we are not able to fill the gap, at least to that extent where it is significant. Now, with all these challenges, there is a lot of huge gaps that is existing, that is hindering the process of social worker. Though this social work exists since ages, but still it is not so popular. Even in society also, in community also, if you go and ask who is a social worker, only within the educated community itself is very difficult to find the right answer, or at least the definitions from the learned fraternity. We are very much limited to our own social work fraternity, and other disciplines, other fraternity have very little information about what this social work fraternity is doing, or where these people are contributing to other disciplines. So, as every discipline, as every fraternity thrives and promotes its subject, application, theory, similarly, social work also needs to focus on improvement of subjects and various theories, methodologies, new specializations. But at the same time, social work is different from other subjects. And we have to play a proactive role. Unless and until we play a proactive role, it is going to be just one of the disciplines in the academy. And we will lose our uniqueness. That is what's happening. We always try to sit in AC rooms and talk about giving lectures, seminars, conferences, symposiums once in a year or once in a while. But at the end of the day, can we find any social worker on the roads who is helping to clear the traffic or taking up road safety activities? Or can you find any social worker who is taking up health services in the communities voluntarily? I am not saying, about social workers who are employed or self-employed and running their own NGOs, or he or she is employed somewhere, or she is associated with some project. Without that, can you see? No, because that is one of the great common notion which we were discussing even earlier sessions also. Social workers are depriving themselves from social service. Social service is common. Doctors are doing social service. Lawyers are doing social service. Teachers are doing social service. Farmers are doing social service. Everyone, you name it, you name the profession, you name the occupation, they are doing social service. But are social workers doing social service? This is $1 million question now. If they are doing, then why there is a huge gap? If they are not doing, we all, in fact, I am also a social worker. So I am asking this to myself also and to entire fraternity also. Why we are not able to address, why still a lot of challenges are there? Because we are not able to reach the grassroots level. There are few exceptions. There are many people who are working. It's not like no one is working, but the ratio or the percentage comparatively are very less. You can look at the statistics. I don't have any statistics to be precise. Total how many passed outs are there since the first social work institution have evolved. Maybe I don't think anyone has such statistics. If at all, maybe it has to be shared with all the fraternities so that, since the first social work institution has started, that is Tata Institute of Social Work, how many students from social work have been passed out and where they are working? Do we have the statistics? No organization in India has. Maybe every organization has its alumni details. But how far it is updated, we don't know. Because somewhere down the line, we haven't seen the alumni as a greatest asset or greatest strength of the organizations or institutions. Some organizations are very good and they have made good efforts in recognizing the alumni and making best use of alumni, alma mater. But some organizations have failed to recognize, acknowledge alumni and alma maters. Most of the organizations, for that matter. The alma mater or the alumni is a great resource for the institution in the form of practitioners, in the form of educators who passed out from our own institutions, is bachelors, masters, MPhil, PhD, scholars. All these are great resources for us. They can be educators, they can be academicians, they can be practitioners, either self-employed or employed somewhere, some part of the world, or might have settled in some other profession. So, how many are actively contributing to the social work in whatever capacity they can, in whatever individual capacity at an organizational capacity, or in whatever capacity they can. We all can contribute, in fact. But how far we are able to reach out? So these are a few concerns we have, especially when looking at the present social work in respect to climate change. Of course, we have a lot of opportunities where we can work in every discipline. Social work is a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary subject, and social workers are always working in a multidisciplinary team, either directly or indirectly. And it is related, connected to almost all the disciplines. Whether social worker is working in community or medical settings or correctional settings or in agriculture or in any, for that matter, any field or any domain or any vertical, they have a great role to play. But how we are going to utilize this depends again, and how far we are able to reach to the common man, and how well we are able to do social service, because our even social work emerged out of social service as a profession. Now, if we neglect social service, we can always start with a social service and take it to a level of social work. But that is what lacking, and what we teach also, what we hear also, that social service is different and social work is different, which is true. But it should not deter social workers from doing social work. In fact, doing social service gives us more opportunities to practice, because we will be working closely with the communities, also with various other professionals who are doing social workers, social service, and we can collaborate with them and do much more work in the community. So this being the present context and issues and challenges our fraternity is also working on, and putting great efforts even. So when we look at the social reformers since independence era and post-independence, though this concept of philanthropy or charity or dharma, whatever names it is called, though they are slightly different, but are generally used as synonyms. So everyone is doing social service or charity or dharma or philanthropy, including, he may be a common man to the king or the, prime minister or president, the lawyers, judges, doctors, teachers, professors, or even a common man, a laborer, also do some kind of social work in his or her own way, by helping others, by supporting others. And social work, the present day social work, has emerged over various social service activities and social activities across the world, including India. And there were various forms of social service. If we see the Vedic period, there were a lot of yagnas, homas, yagas performed for the health and well-being of the people on the planet, on the kingdom, and for the kings and queens. And various religions also has laid emphasis on philanthropy, charity, because it is the only way to reach out to have-nots and also elevate the sufferings and also poverty and so on. And we have seen giving up arms, giveaways, donations in cash or kind to the have-nots, to the needy, to the deserved, to the underprivileged, to the poor, to the destitutes. Even earlier, at the time of Ashoka and various other kingdoms, we have seen comprehensive systems of social service and social welfare programs or activities taken up for all sectors, like free health and medical facilities, free education, and women and child welfare, and also prisoners, war prisoners or slaves, and also agriculture development, rural development, and also regulation of this sex trade, prostitution, and also welfare of them, and also rehabilitation of various vulnerable, like women and children, and also disabled population, and prisoners, and these prostitutes, and so on and so forth, those who were affected by this. And also provision of various facilities for them, as well as, at large to the entire population. So social welfare has been a part, an important aspect of even various kingdoms, irrespective of their regime or, their kingdoms, their religions, all have practiced in one way, one form or other. Even the modern social workers or social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and various individual contributors has taken initiatives for social reforms, social welfare activities, social services. Addressing various social ills and problems. And many of them volunteered and also trained volunteers who has immense interest in philanthropic activities, social welfare activities, towards building philosophy of social service or social work. So in 1936, which is a milestone in the field of social work, when the Tata Institute of Social Science was established in Mumbai as an academic discipline, but the roots of social work has been found since ages in the Indian civilizations, as old as that, through various forms. And also pre-independence, independence and post-independence period also, many social reformers have also contributed at individual level, and they have established various organizations, institutions to promote and work towards the welfare of the people. Like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he established Brahma Samaj, which is one of the foremost institutions, and Jyotirao Govindrao Phule, is one among the social reformers, especially from Maharashtra and from various parts of the nation. We have social workers almost from every state or every part of the country. They have contributed immensely. They have concentrated and they have dedicated themselves on reforming the social institutions of family, and women, children, and also the underprivileged. They also worked on various social evils like caste system, which was never existed in Vedic period, which was later post-Vedic period. This caste system came and which created a lot of discrimination among the people, which was created by some people with vested interests, and it continued to discriminate, especially the Dalits, untouchables, Bahujans. These all were created by human beings. It was never mentioned anywhere in ancient scriptures. And we are still in the clutches of those systems, which had no, which has been just a practice and has no Vedic significance or no mention in Vedas, Upanishads, or any ancient scriptures. These were created by us only, by people, and it continues to divide. And also, it has some benefits also. It acts like a, factor for social cohesion, which also contributes to the development of particular caste communities like scheduled tribes, scheduled caste, backward classes. But at the same time, it is also discriminating, dividing the population. As long as you are affiliated, you are subscribed to one caste or subcaste, you are discriminating yourself with others, among others. This is being continued, and that's why these divisions are being there. And based on one's social, economic, cultural, and occupational status, the things are changing. Things are moving in a different manner, which are fueled by the political vested interests. So when we see, especially various social reformers like Jyotirao Govindrao Phule, who revolted against the caste system, especially, where millions and millions of people had suffered for years together, centuries together. So he has immensely acted on these and attacked the strange hold of particular communities who were engaging in discriminating, and also stood against such communities which were discriminating. In fact, many social reformers have tried to abolish this caste system, which has become a social evil, which promotes discrimination, hatred, and various differences among population. But due to political interest and vote bank politics and various other known and unknown reasons, it still continues to play a significant role. And even governments are supporting that by issuing caste certificates, which has become mandatory because, reservations are there. Again, that is also one deterrent to the merit system. Of course, one side it is contributing, but it is causing a huge brain drain. The merit doesn't get the opportunities. They are leaving the country and they are settling. You see across the world, even in US, NASA, Microsoft, you see top 500 Fortune companies. Indians are playing significant role all over the world. And this is one of the evils of reservation system, which is totally based on caste system, which is creating a huge loss to the nation because the meritorious students, meritorious professionals, the qualified, highly intellectual, intelligent people who are dedicated, committed, they are not contributing to the nation, but they are becoming victims of this reservation system, caste systems, and they are moving away to other nations. So this is a huge loss for the nation because the brain drain that is happening, which otherwise could contribute to the nation. Because once India was a richest nation in the world. But as various invaders have looted the nation, and this caste system is continuously looting the nation in the name of caste, in the name of reservations. And it is causing a huge brain drain because of that, highly skilled professionals, intelligent people who are highly skilled, highly qualified are leaving the nation. And they are settling in other countries. This is also where social workers can play a great role to prevent this brain drain and also create an opportunities. This will happen only when this caste system, which was created for the vested interest, has to be abolished. And the governments also should stop issuing caste certificates and promoting this caste. Because the one who truly believes in secularism and believes that every human being is equally potential and has the capability should not be discriminated on any grounds. It may be either caste, religion, or any other color, creed, or any other characteristics or any factor. All human beings are equally capable, are equally potential. Everyone should get equal opportunity. It's not that you belong to particular caste or community and you have reservation and you have advantage over other people. Now, this is a kind of corruption that happens, injustice to the one who are eligible, who are qualified, who are more deserved. Now, these are various aspects, social evils. This reservation has become social evil. Even when Dr. Ambedkar has proposed, it was initially for 10 years, so that the present generation is supported, so that then onwards, all the people, irrespective of especially those times who were known to be backward, they also utilize the services, use this reservation, and rise up themselves equally among all the individuals. But that didn't happen. Even today, these reservations are continuing as a social evil and how much benefit it is creating, or how much disaster it is creating for the nation has to be looked upon. But majority are not willing because they will lose reservations. They will, once they lose caste, they will also lose all the benefits associated with that caste. That means they will lose reservations. So now it will become much more tougher because everyone has to compete on equal grounds. So equally compete with each other. So they will lose their reservations. That is why, many people are against this abolition of caste, because they are getting the benefits of the caste system. And generations together, now if you see, we are celebrating 77th Independence Day, and seven decades, 7 generations, 10 years is considered a generation. So 7 generations continuously they are benefiting out of reservation, and other people are deprived of opportunities, are not competing at the same level. How much social evil injustice has caused to other communities because of this. And there is unfair level of ground for all the opportunities in terms of education, in terms of employment. Either it may be self-employment opportunities or employment opportunities, or in terms of various aspects, promotion. No, there is a lot of disparity, inequality, injustice that is happening. And more demand of these caste-based reservations are still coming up. And that is also being supported by people like us who are highly educated, highly literate. We know that caste system is a social evil system that is promoting discrimination, disparity, hatred among communities, and creating a lot of issues. Because we truly believe in every individual has an equal opportunity, capability, potential. Now this is creating a lot of injustice, inequality among the individuals. So this is also one field where, this caste system and caste-based reservations should be abolished. Even religious-based reservation should be abolished, so that everyone gets equal opportunity. So does this mean that we are completely against reservations? No. Reservations should be there. We are not against reservations. We are against reservations to those who does not require it. Imagine since 7 generations, one community or one family is getting benefited. Is it not injustice to the others? One generation, what Dr. Ambedkar has brought this reservation system, saying it's for one generation, that is for 10 years. But it's still continuing over 70 years. So these are various issues that needs to be, but we need to look at humanitarian aspects. We all are human beings in the very first place, irrespective of which caste we belong to, which religion we belong to, or which community we belong to. That is secondary. We all are human beings, and we all should get equal opportunities as a human being. So that should be our, prime focus. So these various social reformers or social workers or social activities, more or less, they were having the humanitarian aspects where they were, working, like especially Jyotirao Phule. He was against this caste system, and especially the ones who were dominating the other caste or discriminating the caste by dividing them into lower caste, upper caste, and all, And he also advocated widow remarriage, and also, those widows and their children, rehabilitation homes was started. And later on, he has formed Satyashodak Samaj, which literally translates to Society of Seekers of the Truth. It was basically, intended to liberate the Sudras and Atisudras. These were, names which were given to certain communities to, prevent their abuse, discrimination, or differentiation by certain communities which claim themselves as, higher caste or so on. But, there is no logic or reason behind this caste system. We should understand that, humanity is ahead against caste system or religion. And he opposed this Chaturvarna. That was actually, this is a lot of disinformation or misinformation, that these Varnas were mentioned in Vedas, but nowhere this Varna has been mentioned in Vedas. But Varna system was purely based on occupation, not by, any other thing. Based on one's occupation, this Varna system emerged. And later on, this caste system is also emerged partly on occupation and partly on various other socio-economic cultural factors. So he opposed and denounced the Chaturvarna concept. And as per him, both men and women are equally entitled for human rights, irrespective of sex. Irrespective of gender, whether they may be male or female, everyone is equally entitled for equal human rights and also opportunities. So that's how various social reformers have been contributing. And he also stressed that unity is most important factor among all the men and women, and which should be based on liberty, equality, fraternity. And through his entire life, he fought for the downtrodden and used various techniques, methods, applications of social service, social work, like social action, community organization, and various other methods. in empowering and protecting the downtrodden and also make them live with dignity. And we see various other, reformers like Chhatrapati Sahu Maharaja, he advocated against British government, against various treaties, and also promoted social reforms. And he was Maharaja of Kolhapur, one of the earliest Indian kings. Who had immense interest in social and social reforms, religious reforms for the downtrodden. And he also tried various measures to address this caste system and provide equal opportunities in education, in employment, to all, irrespective of one's caste. And he also abolished the systematic or systemized labor, bonded labor, and also to restrict child marriages and promote remarriage, widow remarriages. And promoted free education for all, and orphanage homes, hostels, to various school-going children, college students especially. As he was favoring this liberal education, especially Western education, and he was also a follower of Arya Samaj, who always believed that the right solution to various social issues and problems. And he was one of the significant persons, or in fact, we can say one of the first few who banned untouchability, and also to promote various movements for social inclusion and also disadvantaged sections of the society. And we see we have one more social work, a reformer activist, is from Kerala. And he is very well known for his relentless fight against caste system. Caste system has been, as already mentioned, has been greatest evil today our nation has been facing since centuries, and even now also today. Unless and until this caste system gets abolished, this discrimination will continue forever. So the only solution is to ban the entire caste system, abolish these caste or caste systems. So Sri Narayan Guru, he worked towards upliftment of the backward classes in Kerala state, especially for Elva community. And he denied existence of religions, caste, gods or goddess, whatever it is, irrespective of any religion. He denied existing of any religion or caste. And he truly opposed the incarnations or the creations based on one's spiritual knowledge or one's knowledge, either spiritual or materialistic knowledge. He also established a set of rituals and also various religious institutions like temples, which also, where the upper castes were following to the ISWAS community. And they have to create a new identity altogether, to provide equal honor, respect as the upper caste communities. Actually, this was basically, called as self-respect movement. Though he did not believe in gods, but that was widely prevalent practice. So to uplift or to empower, as this was prohibited for certain communities, so to make them also equally eligible, he installed, Shiva idol at Aravipuram in 1888. And, this Pratishta was done by a lower caste person who was forbidden from entering any religious place at that time. So these were various efforts that were put, and he became a saint, a seer, a philosopher, an advisor, an advocate, a poet, a social reformer. And he also used various methods of social service, social work, like social action, community organization, to prevent and also to protect and empower ISWAs from deprivation, discrimination, and provide them empowerment, employment, education. And as already mentioned, Raja Ram Mohan Rai was one of the greatest, reformer, a social activist, social worker. He is very well known for his great reforms and establishment of Brahma Samaj. And he initiated various social reforms, organized a movement to bring end to the practice of sati, sagamanam, which was inhumane and violation of human rights and also very degrading. There are various social evils that were penetrated, a lot of misinterpretation of Vedas and ancient scriptures by certain vested interest people who spread out a lot of misinformation about ancient scriptures, and a lot of, practices or traditions which were not part of original Vedas or ancient scriptures were deliberately put into to blame the ancient scriptures and question the authority of such scriptures. So a lot of this manipulation has been done by various people in the history. So similarly, this sati practice is also one such practice with the efforts of Lord William Bentinck. Raja Mohan Rai could abolish this sati system, and he also advocated for widows' remarriage and also encouraged intercaste marriages and promoted it. And he also opposed this caste system, which also promoted this disharmony, disintegration, disunity, discrimination, and all such practices. And he persuaded the British government to abolish child marriage. He was against worshipping of different gods or so many gods. He believed in only one God, and he was against these costly sacrifices, superstitions, and he, vigorously attacked the caste system and declared it as inhuman. And he always stated that caste system is a doubly evil, as it not only created inequality but divided people and also deprived them of oneness, patriotic feelings, and commonness, and brotherhood and sisterhood, social cohesion. He also advocated for various women's rights, and he was one of the foremost who had demanded for granting of right of property and inheritance to women for raising their social status. He was also favoring Western education because, especially the education was very limited. So this Western education, through which schools were started to address these various social evils and to make education reach to wider population. So there were many such social reformers like Mahadev Govinda Ranade, who dedicated his life for the upliftment of women and downtrodden classes. He was founder, General Secretary of Indian Social Conference, which was founded in 1875 AD. He worked on reforming and modernizing the Indian society, and various social reforms were taken up under his guidance, which covered almost all aspects of the society. He also addressed all these issues like intercaste marriages and raising of marriageable age, abolition of castes, widow remarriages, women's education, girls' education, improvement in the conditions of outcast and and various other social reforms. So he always worked in his entire life on reconstruction of the society for the empowerment of weaker sections, especially women empowerment. And he used various social work methods like social action, community organization in the process. Even Swami Vivekananda, whose pre-monastic name or the name earlier before he became Swami Vivekananda was Narendra Nath Datta, who needs no introduction. He is very famous and influential spiritual mentor, leader, guru, teacher, who is widely popular across the world, in India also. He was the chief disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who founded Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission. He worked on various Hindu reform movements and always used social action and proclaimed the essential oneness of all religions and condemned any narrowness in religious matters. And he worked towards imbibing spirit of liberty, equality, and a social order based on equality and freedom. He was also against caste system. And he also advocated for women empowerment and upliftment of women, whom he considered as the instrument of social change. He condemned the caste system and superstitions. And in 1987, he founded Ramakrishna Mission to carry out humanitarian relief activities, social service, social welfare, and social work. And Belur is the headquarters of the mission and much. So he practiced social casework, social group work, community organization, working with various people. He was a strong advocate and in favor of liberty, equality, freedom, and human rights, which is a crucial aspect of social. When Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar also worked towards women empowerment and the widow remarriage, and early marriages, and many other social evils which were affecting the social developments. And he started several schools for girls. And preventing child marriages. He had made a lot of contributions to the making of modern India, as he was deeply interested in education of women and also started girls' school in Calcutta. and many parts of the country as a result of his efforts. So through his efforts, British government had to pass an act legalizing the widow marriage in 1856 AD. He also introduced the study of Western thought in the Sanskrit College, which has opened for everyone, including non-Brahmin students. In fact, the Sanskrit and other such Vedic studies were very much restricted to the Brahmin students, but that this time it is set open to everyone, those who want to pursue. So he also effectively used community organization, social action, and various methods among the community to understand different social evils or ills that are prevailing in the society, which required immediate reforms. Swami Dayanand Saraswati founded Arya Samaj in 1875 to promote social services and equal justice for all men and women and all nations, irrespective of gender. He was also against caste system. Untouchability, child marriages, discrimination against girls and women on various grounds. It discourages dogma, symbolism, and encourages skepticism in beliefs that run contrary to common sense and logic. And he immensely contributed to the rights of the women, as rights such as rights to education and right to reading of Indian scriptures. And he introduced various social reforms, religious reforms in Indian society. He strongly opposed caste system and propagated against the practice of untouchability. He strongly condemned the practice of sati and child marriage. And he started various educational institutions known as DAV schools and colleges, which are even now can be seen. He followed for the rights-based approach of social work for securing equal rights for both men and women, for raising the status of women and gender equality, gender mainstreaming. By establishing various schools across the country for girls and boys as part of philanthropic activity. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, who is the chief architect of the Indian Constitution and also popularly known as the liberator of the scheduled caste. So he also fought against the caste system of untouchability. Worked for the moral and material progress of the untouchables. In 1924, he founded the Depressed Classes Institute, and in 1927, the Samaj Samata Sangha propagate social equality among the untouchables and castes. Later on, he launched a number of movements for securing equal status for lower caste. In 1930, he organized non-violent struggle for entry into religious places. He was also appointed as law minister in the interim government, also chairman of the Constituent Assembly Drafting Committee. And for his all efforts and various initiatives, he has been honored with Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, for his highest degree of national service. He used various methods of social work like social action, community organization, to mobilize the untouchables to fight for their own progress, and use social action method to organize a non-violent struggle and for the empowerment of untouchables, depressed, which is still an important issue. When Mahatma Gandhi, who is father of our nation, has immensely contributed to the achievement of independence for India, he united all the elements of Indian national movement. Under his banner, leadership, he guided all the leaders, making the powerful and strong British movement. With the peaceful weapon of non-violence. Satyagraha, boycott of foreign goods and embracing Swadeshi. And various initiatives were taken up to empower locally made goods and services. He worked a lot for the upliftment of Harijans and labor, and he was ready to sacrifice for the sake of countrymen. Till 1917 AD, the freedom movement was restricted to the upper and middle classes. But Mahatma Gandhi has the credit where even the common peasants and workers began to take active part in the national movement. He also led the Champaran movement, Indigo Revolt, and Kaira Satyagraha for protecting interests of farmers, particularly Gandhian approaches like use of non-violence, Satyagraha, democratic decentralization are also important part of social work and peaceful social order based on equality, liberty, freedom. And also empowerment of Harijans in a peaceful manner. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel launched various peasant movements like Bardoli Satyagraha, and various other movements in recognition of his great success in organizing the movement of Gandhi called him Sardar. He was very actively participating and integration of, was very efficient in integration of 562 princely states and domains into the Indian territory. He was a great man with a vision and mission. And he was a very good community organizer. Amrutlal V. Thakkar, also known as Thakkar Baba, who was a friend, guide, philosopher of Adivasis and downtrodden sections of society, condemned untouchability. He set up cooperative societies for sweepers and scavengers in Pune and schools for the children of laborers in Ahmedabad. He also set up cooperative schools, societies for children of laborers. He was member of the Servants of Indian Society. And he worked selflessly for the upliftment of Aboriginal hill tribes of Panchamahals. He was one of the leading Gandhian social workers and freedom fighter, and immensely contributed to the tribal welfare. He was General Secretary of the Harijan Sevak Sangha, and he also undertook a Harijan tour along with Gandhiji. He did a lot of work also. Vanavasi Seva Mandal, Mandla district in Madhya Pradesh. Thakkar Baba. He is a devoted member of Servants of Indian Society and had been working on he had performed various roles like social worker, like an educator, motivator, community social worker, community organization, especially concentrating on Harijan to create awareness against the exploitation of Harijans. Vinoba Bhave was one of the great spiritual leaders. Devoted his entire life to social welfare. Vinoba started Bhudan land gift movement. Over a period of 20 years, he traveled length and breadth of India persuading landowners and landlords to give land to the poor and downtrodden. He covered over 50,000 miles and collected more than 36 lakh acres from the landlords all over India. Swami Sahayanand Saraswati, who is a freedom fighter, Kisan leader from Bihar, actively participated and advocated for the cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. And he advocated for abolition of zamindari system, creation of non-peasant proprietorship. In 1929, he founded Bihar Kisan's Sabha. Under his leadership, he presided over several sessions of All India Kisan Sabha and devoted services to the peasants. He came to be known, addressed as Kisan Pran, life of Kisans. Swami Saraswati was a staunch believer and ardent follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Baba Amte from Wardha, Maharashtra, also one of the wealthy family of Jagirdars who was trained in law, started a lucrative practice at Varora. He dedicated himself to social justice. Murlidhar Devidas Amte or Baba Amte, as he is popularly known, a social worker associated with rehabilitation of leprosy victims and also worked towards efforts of national integration. He devoted his life to the care and rehabilitation of leprosy patients. His community development project at Anandwan Forest of Bliss near Nagpur in Maharashtra is recognized and respected all over the world. He was a successful community organizer and initiated community development programs at Anandavan, Medha Patkar is also one of the important social activists known and appreciated by millions and millions of villagers. Who is founder of Narmada Bachao Andolan and the National Alliance of People's Movements. She did her MA in social work from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, and later on started working as a faculty. While she was doing PhD, but she left this as well as her PhD and became more involved in the action, social action, community organization in the tribal and peasant agitations in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. She has faced police beatings and many jail terms, but she continues to believe that in the best of the people and continues to believe in the best of the people and democratic system. And she has won various numerous awards like Dinanath Mangeshkar Award, Mahatma Phule Award, Right Livelihood Award, and so on. Sundarlal Bahuguna is also one of the noted activists, environmentalist, promoted for preservation of forests, the Himalayas, and also Chipko movement as a member. His contributions to the cause and environmentalism was creation of Chipko slogan, ecology is a permanent economy. He is famous for his work, creation of Terry Dam, the simplicity and sincerity of the Sundarlal Bahuguna helped The Chipko movement has been successful in forcing a 15-year ban on commercial green felling in the hills of Uttar Pradesh. And she used community organization techniques of social work, motivated, mobilizing community for protection and environment. Dr. Sandeep Pandey was founders of ASHA for Education, has been awarded 2002 Ram. Dr. Sandeep was one of the founders of ASHA for Education, who has been also awarded with Rams and Megasess. And his objectives was to empower the marginalized so that poor can have a voice. His actions similarly, many social workers contributed to various movements. So with this, we shall conclude today's presentation. If anyone has registered and willing to present today, we can take up presentations. You can leave your details, chat box in the chat box. But make sure you are completing all the formalities which is mandatory for the issue of certificates. Okay, today we'll take one presentation, and then if time is available, we'll take it. So today we have with us CS Ankit. Can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
You can start your video and presentation with your introduction.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, please continue.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm CS Ankit Shah. I'm assistant professor at PP Savani University, and I'm also BCom coordinator. And I have 13 years of experience in the field of management, as well as I also give consultancy in for companies for legal advisory. Today, I'm going to present one interesting topic. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah. Today I'm presenting one interesting topic, that is the psychosomatic complaints in the field of salespeople in pharmaceutical sectors. So basically, what is psychosomatic complaints? Like when a condition is psychosomatic, that means that is involves both and mind and body. Psychosomatic illness originate with emotional stress or damaging thought pattern and progress with physical symptoms, usually when a person's immune system is compromised due to someone's mind. So normally if we find body illness, or if we find fear or headache, then we thought that it is like our body complaint, but it is not. It is actually due to the stress, or mentally stress due to the working condition or work pressure that impact our body. So as you know, sales field in the area of pharmaceutical sectors is one of the challenging and high pressure field in which the performance to achieve target matters and persistent efforts are required. And the sales people, like that is we call as a medical representative, often finds illness and they thought it is physical illness, but it in real it is caused by the mental stress arising from the field work they are doing whole day. See, the timing of these sales people is not fixed, like they work for 12 to 14 hours in a day, right, as per the requirement, as per the target. So it impact their body, and they thought that it is the illness or it is the physical illness, right, but actually it is due to the work pressure or stress due to the workplace. And different physical illness arise due to the high stress tolerance, that is psychosomatic complaint, and the remedies to overcome these psychosomatic complaints I'm going to present here. So what is psychosomatic illness? So it is defined as concerning or involving both mind and body, and it is classified in three categories. That is, first one, mental illness and medical illness. So one person having both the illness. Second one, that is the psychiatrist problem, that is just a mental illness. And third one, which cannot define or cannot explain in medical terms, that is considered as a psychosomatic disorder. So what are the causes of psychosomatic illness? That is, first one is abuse, anger, anxiety, depression, grief, guilt, stress, right? These are the causes of psychosomatic illness, which employees or workers are not knowing about. So as we discussed is psychosomatic complaints due to the stress. So as we know what is stress, so stress seems to everywhere in personal life as well as on the job. And stress is an interaction between an individual and the environmental characterized by emotional affecting a person physical and mental condition. And stress may be defined as a pattern of emotional and physiological reaction in response to demand from internal and external sources. So now the objectives of my study is to identify most dominant stress factors for psychosomatic complaints among field sales people, that we call MR, medical representative. Second one, to identify, detect the monitoring effects between working hours and work stress to associate with it, with psychosomatic complaints. To associate performance of field sales people with psychosomatic complaints generated by work stress. To recognize and explore the significance level between degree of stress and psychosomatic complaints confronted by field sales people in pharmaceutical sectors. My research design is descriptive. Sources of data collection: primary, I use structure questionnaire, and secondary from companies and internet. Data collection method, that is survey method by using questionnaire. Research instrument, that is structure questionnaire. Sample design, that is non-probability convenience sampling, and sample sizes of 300 samples from Bharuch district. So basically I'm from Bharuch, so I choose this area for my research. So now analysis part. See, I took important question here. So first one is, since last 6 months, how many times you suffer from poor health? So out of 300 respondents, 137 respondents uh, suffered from last 6 months in poor health. That is almost like 50%. 35 respondents never suffer from last 6 months, so like they can balance their life, balance their workplace and personal life properly. But out of 300, 137 respondents suffer from illness in last 6 months, right? So they salespeople cannot concentrate also in that work due to this illness. According to you, what is the main reason for your poor health? So out of 300, 109 respondents respond that due to work pressure, uh, they find and they affected in their health, and it is almost 36.34%. 49% due to family problem, that is 16.33%. Now, which type of physical symptoms affected to your health? So out of 300, 102, that is almost 34% respondents uh, uh, respondents affected with headache. 30, that is for heart disease, and tiredness, that is 58, right? So mostly most of the respondents affected and in headache, they suffer headache due to the work pressure or stress. Say, which type of neurological symptoms affected to your health? So 68 respondents affected loss of confidence, and 57 anxiety, right? So this uh, anxiety, loss of confidence, that is the major impact by this psychosomatic complaint. Now, hypothesis portion, I use working hours and physical symptoms. So H0 is working hours is not independent from physical symptoms affected to sales people health, and H1 is working hours is independent from physical symptoms affected to sales people health. So here H0 accepted means working hours is not independent from physical symptoms affected to sales people health. So based on chi-square H0 accepted, that it means it is not independent from physical symptoms affected to sales people's health. So it indicates that when sales people work more than their usual hours, in that case it may be impact of the physical health of the sales people. Now, second hypothesis is working hours and neurological symptoms. So first, H0 is not independent from neurological symptoms affected to salespeople health, and H1 is working hours is independent from neurological symptoms affected to salespeople health. So here, H1 is H0 accepted, it means that working hours is independent from neurological symptoms affected to salespeople health. That means increased working hours also increase the neurological disease of the salespeople. So it means if the salespeople working more than usual hours, it will create mind-related problem at the long period of time. Third one is age and stress. That is H0. That is age and stress are independent variable, and H1 is age and stress are not independent. So here H0 accepted. That means age and stress are independent variable, and it means that between age and stress has no direct relationship, and that means increase the age is not the reason of the stress, and the reason of stress are any one personal or job related. Critical situation and social life. So H0 is that is critical situation and social life is independent variable, and H1 is that is critical situation and social life is not independent variable. So here H0 accepted. That means that is a critical situation and social life is independent variable and does not affect the social life of salespeople, and in long run it may affect the personal life. So from this research, salespeople suffers from various psychosomatic complaints. People are not aware about their psychosomatic complaints. A strong relation was found between physical and neurological symptoms and the duration of the work. Work efficiency decreased with the with the increased amount of stress. The main reason of psychosomatic complaints is the working life. Salespeople are not able to balance their working life and social life. Salespeople have too much work burden and unable to handle critical situation due to stress and the causes of stress. So from this, I conclude that this research found that salespeople of pharmaceutical sectors are suffering from some type of physical and neurological symptoms, and it shows psychosomatic complaints in salespeople which work in pharmaceutical sector. The main reason for the psychosomatic complaints are stress, high working hours, and imbalance between work and personal life. Because as we know, okay, like in sales, the manager can ask a meeting at 9 p.m. also, right? So it is very difficult to manage the personal life as well as work life, right? And based on this research, we conclude that pharmaceutical company work environment is motivating in financial term, right? One can earn higher amount of money or salary from their job, but if company allows salespeople to do work with a limited job hours, in that case, the efficiency of the salespeople work is increased as well as they maintain their working life and social life also. So I recommend some points that will be beneficial for them. Like the company should consider the following remedies or recommendation. That is, first one is company should provide the meditation techniques for decrease the stress level. They frequently uh, do or frequently train them or like uh, conduct yoga sessions or meditation sessions to reduce the stress level of their employees. Companies should organize informal function for maintaining some social relation. Like uh, we celebrate month and celebration in which every faculty like forgot every work and enjoy in that particular period of time, like for 2 hours at least, right? So like that they can also arrange the month end celebration or something like that, so it will reduce the stress level of employees that is work in the field. And if possible, pharmaceutical company also have to fix the working hours for their employees. Thank you. Any questions, sir?
Congratulations, Ankit Shaki.
Thank you so much.
Nicely presented. Participants, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself, ask, or share in chat box, or you can raise your hand. You can unmute you. If you have any queries, observations, comments. If there are no queries, few appreciation messages.
Thank you, sir.
So we wish you all the success. Look forward for more presentations.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm very grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much.
So this we will. It's almost 9, so we will close for the day. Then any presentations can register tomorrow. We will take it up. So before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the overall feedback form. Dear friends, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. It has been raised in the form of polls. Those who would like to make presentations are requested to register and share the details and files to the conference email address as mentioned, so that we can schedule accordingly in coming days. And we request everyone to circulate among your circles, students, colleagues, so that they can utilize this opportunity. All the certificates will be issued after the conference in a week's time, after processing the registration, attendance, feedback, and all the details. So those who have not completed the formalities are requested to complete at the earliest. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.